Hey, Jackie.
Hey, Jess.
Oh, you're looking so fancy today,
I know,
too.
right? I figured I have to go to lunch or something. I did my makeup.
You have to. And I mean, you're my forever +1 date, and I'm not there to go to lunch with you. So I'm so bummed about that. But Jackie, we're going to talk about attracting new customers and keeping your current customers happy with curb appeal and maintenance. So I'm going to let you just dive into this, and I'll come back if there's questions that I have or questions from the audience.
Sounds good.
Cool.
So basically, everybody knows that people drive by your facility, and that's primarily what they see as far as curb appeal. That's how they select where they're going to rent their things. So I guess I have to go here. So my question is, would you rather rent here or here? It's a very clear, just more beautiful looking property. So customers are finding you in a few ways. Basically, they're Googling self-storage, and this is what I'm calling digital curb appeal. They brings up a listing of self-storage properties, then they go to your website, and then your website is really what they see. Other than that, they're driving by your facility. So this is what they see when they Google your facility. They brings up a list of self-storages on the left. There's ads from the REITs most likely, and then they have to scroll down to find mom and pop or smaller storages. So basically the big guys, the REITs, they know how it works. They make everything look beautiful. They have professional photographers. They have congruent marketing. They make everything look beautiful. They have perfect lighting. Everything is clean. So here is an example of what you don't want to do on your digital curb appeal. So this mini storage has very little information. No one has claimed this listing on Google. So all it has is the name. It has 2 pictures, none of which actually look like a storage facility. If you saw this on Google Maps, you wouldn't know what you were looking at. You can't see the doors, which are the icon of the storage industry. There's no phone number. There's no hours. People are going to scroll right past this listing to find something more like this listing. This is the one that's right down the street from the other one. They have obviously a picture of their doors. Again, that's what's representative in the industry. They have exterior pictures. They have by owner pictures. They have interior pictures. It's fully filled out. They've got their website, their hours, even a video of come by and stop and talk to us. And then they have reviews, great reviews. Service is always great. Lady's nice, pleased with my kid. And the facility is clean and well kept. And that, again, is a really important thing when you look at the physical curb appeal. So when you're looking at online curb appeal, the do's and don'ts, you want to find a website service that's made for the self-storage industry. There's a ton. We've got StoragePug, SiteLink, Storable, whomever you want to choose. If you like the look and the functionality of the website service for your specific facility, then choose them. They already have everything set up for self-storage. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. Be sure that your search engine results are up to date. You're updating your hours. You're updating your phone number. If anything's changed, like if your hours were shortened for COVID, make sure those things, you keep them up to date. Post pictures of your location, not some stock pictures of locations. Post pictures of your location so people can actually identify it when they drive up, and make sure they're flattering. Don't post pictures of faded doors or worn down flags or ripped flags or signs. And don't let the search engines be the one to provide the one drive-by picture of your facility. Really use the opportunity to show your best, because online is really how people are starting to find a storage facility. And then show off your office if it's nice. Show off your inventory if you have boxes. That's important for people to know. So all of those things are things you can do to improve your online curb appeal. One other point, don't ignore negative reviews. If someone posts, oh, I show up and nobody's ever there, make sure that you respond to them and say, I understand your concern. I'm so sorry you had that experience. Please come in and let us make it right. And that way, not only are you helping that customer, your other customers are seeing online that you are willing to help. What prospects see when they drive by. So now we're moving from online curb appeal to in-person curb appeal. Prospects are seeing the front of your building. They're seeing your doors. Again, icon of the self-storage industry. That's how they know that it's a self-storage facility. They're seeing signs. So if you want to make sure that they're bright and lit and there's no lights out and that they're not faded. Any flags you put up, whether it's an American flag, a state flag, or one of those longer flags that say self-storage, come on in, rentals open, make sure that they're not faded, not torn, that it really looks its best and brightest. They do notice landscaping. If you've got weeds or dead plants, they kind of wonder how you take care of the inside of your facility. And if you've got rental trucks, I mean, that's not free, but prepaid for advertising. Park them out front. Make sure the trucks are clean and not lit, but the signage is very clear on them. Again, it's advertising for you. And people drive by your facility, you know, it's within 3 to 5 miles of their home. They're driving by it every day, whether they need storage or not. And subconsciously, they are making a decision about your facility as they drive by every day. So if it's constantly looking great, you're constantly switching out flags, you have new things out, that's going to catch their attention. And then when they need self-storage, they're going to come to you. On the opposite side, if they see dead bushes and everything's like downtrodden and lights out, they're probably not going to choose you when it comes time for their storage needs. The other thing that you want to make sure, vagrants are problems in many parts of the country, and you want to make sure that your managers are out there asking people to move on, because if there are people loitering around your facility, your customers or potential customers are not going to feel safe renting there. So it's important to move them on. What your customers see is something different. So these people are in your door, you've sold them a unit, rented them a unit, and they're in your facility. And now it's just kind of like when you buy a house or a car or rent an apartment, you get in there and you're living in that space, and then you start to notice things that are not doing great. So again, they notice the doors. If they're getting chalk on their hands from your faded and oxidized doors, and it's on their clothes and it's on their things, they're going to get very frustrated. If there's trash billowing around or full dumpsters, pest control. If you can have the little boxes, the mouse houses, put them in aisles that are not so frequently used, where people don't actually notice them. Because if they see pest control containers, they're going to think that there are pests in their unit. So best to put those somewhere where maybe people won't see. Dirty restrooms are always a problem. Make sure your restrooms are clean. People are there for hours when they're moving in and moving out, and you want to make sure the restrooms are clean for your tenants. People living in their units or making car repairs in their units. When people, again, are loitering around, customers really wonder if their valuables are safe if people are there all the time. So making a curb appeal plan. This is a very limited list, but it's important that you have a list for your managers to check off on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, biannually, and annually basis to make sure that your facility is looking its best all the time. I have to say the ISS magazine did a great kind of facilities management issue for the November issue, and Tom Pick and Melissa Stiles from Storage Asset Management really did put together a really nice comprehensive list, and I suggest you check that out as well. What happens when you neglect maintenance? So when you're not taking care of things, like one of the things on your weekly maintenance is cleaning your doors, the next every quarter you want to actually wash them down. When you don't do that, you'll find mold, mildew, salt corrosion, faded and oxidized, again, getting the oxidation on your customers' hands. And then eventually your paint goes down to bare metal and it gets rusty. People love white doors. They say, oh, you can't see the oxidation on my doors because they're white. Well, the problem with white doors is it actually goes down to bare metal much faster than doors that have a pigmented color. So if you're not protecting those doors, they will go down to bare metal. And once they get down to bare metal, you have no choice but to blast them and repaint them. So be careful with your white doors and make sure you're protecting them. How to know when it's time to restore, repaint, or replace your doors. You want to replace your doors when the mechanics are going bad. If your doors are heavy, hard to open, you can't fix them, you can't repair them, then it's time to replace them. Or if you're adding technology like Nokia enhancements, then you want to put on new doors. Repainting is an option if you're rebranding. So if you're buying up several facilities and you want them all to have the same color scheme, repainting is obviously the only way to go. Or if you have existing paint issues, if the existing paint is cracking or peeling or down to bare metal, you will need to paint your doors to get them back to a level where they are all uniform. You can restore your doors. It's a more economical option than replacing or painting. And you can restore the original color and luster of the doors. This is great if you're purchasing new facilities. You can move in, let your do your rent increase, which you're probably going to do as a new owner, but let your tenants know that you actually care about the facility and you care about looking at making it look nice and making it be a safe place to be. But it kind of justifies that rent increase if you're restoring the doors when you take over a property. Alternatively, if you're getting ready to sell a property, if you have a smaller property and it's funding your retirement and you're ready to let it go, if you restore the doors before you put it on the market, then you get a nice little boost for your dollar. And I do have a few referrals from people who have done just that. If you're adding new buildings to your current property, let's say you've got 10 acres and you're adding more buildings. If you are adding the same doors from the same manufacturer and the same color, you can actually restore the doors on your older portions of your property and they will match the new doors. As long as same manufacturer, same color, it will bring them back to the original color and luster and your whole property will be uniform. And if you're maintaining your current branding strategy, let's say you're buying up properties, you're rebranding, you're repainting all new colors, and then you want to maintain those colors going forward, using a quality clear coat will help you maintain that branding strategy long term. So with that being said, I think I ran through that, Jess.
Goodness, you knocked that out of the park as far as the time restraint. Thank you so much, Jackie, for joining us today and going through that. I just want to echo here the relevance of door quality. There is a facility right by my house. It's literally it's probably a quarter mile from my house, older facility. And like every third door looks good. And then the three in between look bad. And it's like, being in the industry, obviously my eyes are constantly going over to that. Like, I just want to go talk to the owner about fixing their doors.
You can actually never drive around anymore once you have this knowledge without seeing every single storage facility you drive by.
Yeah. And I'm sure at one point they were a nice hunter green. Now some of them unfortunately look like a puke color green. Sorry to say that, but they do. So curb appeal and maintenance is super important. I mean, you want to protect your asset. You guys have invested a ton of money into this. Yeah. Why not keep it looking good? Make sure that this is part of your manager's weekly, daily checklist. This is something that they should be doing. Again, Jackie, thanks for jumping on. If anyone has questions for Jackie or what Everbrite Coatings can do for your doors as far as restoration, you can schedule a one-on-one time meeting with her through the platform, or you can visit the Everbrite Coatings page on the participating companies section of the site. So there's the website, everbritecoatings.com. Jackie, thank you again for joining us. We've got some good comments coming in that you gave us some great suggestions. So thanks again for participating. Always a pleasure to talk with you.